What are we doing on the land? This week Hayden is focusing on the house build and putting down the insulation and then the ply onto the base of the house.
Morning!
Jack's helping Hayden this morning. Yeah. And now the ply for the flooring is starting to go down. This is 19mm thick tongue and groove, so it should all interlock and hopefully prevent squeaking when we walk around the house. This is all the insulation for under the floor, R1.8. And with any house build, project managing is pretty important, making sure you get the materials at the right time. When we first started this project, there was an issue because there was a lot of delay on materials. Like we ordered a big massive beam for the lounge that was going to take 10 weeks max, and when it was getting closer to the time we were ringing up and we couldn't get any information on this beam. So we were getting a bit worried because without that beam, Hayden can't do the walls of the house. He can't progress beyond a certain stage. But we just found out the beam is coming this week. Yeah! So what we have learnt is when we first started ordering items, there was not enough material for all the builds happening. For example, you couldn't get jib. There was no plasterboard available in New Zealand. But since then, everyone's been nervous about this. So a lot of people have paused their house builds, which means suddenly there's a lot more materials in the hardware stores, which is good for us. And another item we've just ordered is a big beam here for the very corner of the house. For the deck, it's to hold up the roof, so a pretty important one. Again, we ordered it, no idea when it's going to turn up, but I'm hopeful that now everything's calmed down a bit, that it will turn up in time, but who knows. And then we've got some decking beams ready to start the deck area once Hayden's finished putting on the ply on the base of the house. And not so good news about our septic tank application. I left it a month and a half, probably should have emailed sooner. So just sent them an email last Friday asking for an update and how long it might take. Turns out the lady has left her post and our application has somehow disappeared. So I don't know if that will add time onto our application. We will just have to wait and see. And another project happening on the land is a shed for my brother's solar power equipment. So we actually received all the solar kit from Grid Free a while ago now, but then it poured down with rain and then we all got sick. So it's only now that we're starting to get ready to install it. So the very first stage is to get a place to put the kit. So Andrew bought this cheap Bunnings warehouse shed, put it all together, realised it's pretty flimsy, potential of rain getting down these seams, and learnt that on cold mornings condensation sits inside this and has potential of dripping down onto all of his very, very expensive electrical equipment. So instead, the boys are building a proper wooden shed. It's going to be lovely.
Okay, so you probably just hit on the incline there. Yeah.
And this is where the shed is up to. They're chipping away at it. It's actually really, really nice watching Hayden show Andrew what to do, because my brother's really never done anything like this before. So yeah, it's good to see. So you might be thinking, this is a pretty big shed for just some basic solar equipment, and yes it is. It is a good size, but there's also going to be other functions with it. One of the things is it's going to hold a lot of the storage boxes that we haven't felt comfortable putting in the container, because we also have learnt that on cold and frosty mornings it does get condensation on the roof, which then drops down onto everything, which makes us nervous about mold and destroying some paper that we don't want, like photos. We don't want the family photos to be damaged.
Nice baby!
And I got this battery charger from Burns Co. I got this battery charger because one panel connected to this one battery was not enough on those really wet, rainy days for the power we were using in the cabin. So now when the generator is going, I can just plug this in. This is connected to the generator, and it charges the battery. There are a couple of ways to connect it to the battery. For now I'm just using these clamps, super easy, but they also supplied circle metal discs that you can permanently wire into the battery, and then you can just change this for the different wiring you want. And an update with the Califont for our hot water. This new one is so much better than our previous random setup. It gets to a really good temperature fast. I love it. I love it so much. Hayden has pointed out recently though that it does use more gas. And it survived the frosty mornings we've been having recently. We've got a new system where we drain all the water out at night so that there's no water that can expand on those frosty mornings. It also came with a much better water pump, which is buried under all of this to prevent it from freezing, and it's kind of working. There's still a couple of pipes that freeze, but it seems to defrost a lot faster and prevent the water pump from getting damaged as well. And we're still struggling with the driveway. What we've realized is all the water slowly comes down the slope, and because we've changed the lay of the land, the water's struggling to find a new direction to go in, and it just all ends up around this area. It's definitely worse this winter, and possibly because it's just been a lot wetter than the previous year. What we think we're going to have to do is have a permanent little channel along the side of the drive just to direct all the water in the correct direction to the drain. A new problem that we started having was this section of the drive. Water was just sitting on the surface and not draining away at all. What we've done is we've dug a deep trench along the side just so that the water can be there instead of on the drive. Eventually we're going to have to get more gravel and put it down. And an update with the chickens, we're still getting 2 eggs a day. I still find it really exciting. And then Hayden came to me the other day with this exciting observation.
It's like the perfect egg. Nice and warm.
Do you want to explain what you found?
Wow, just huge compared to the other one. They must be getting the game on. It's a bit different.
Slightly different sizes. It's gone from like a 5 to a 7. And then my garden. Everything's basically been dormant the last few months. Everything stopped growing. But now I'm starting to prep, ready for spring. So this will be my new garden area. Vegetables and strawberries. And no, I'm not going to do the no-dig system, which is in fashion at the moment. My theory is this was a farming paddock full of deer and cows, and they've really compacted the ground. So it's very hard to dig and weed. So I'm planning to dig this all up, turn over the soil, give lots of nutrients back to the soil, aerate it and all of that. And hopefully, eventually I'll have very healthy soil. That's the plan anyway. I'm all new to this, so it's all a big experiment. And we're going to have a massive strawberry patch. I love strawberries. I found a site online that has a good reputation and is selling 50 strawberry plants for $55. I'm sold. I've also just noticed that the chickens got into this area yesterday without me realizing and completely shredded the nice border I had done along the top, so it's looking a bit chaotic right now. And I've been getting the fruit trees ready. I've gently pruned them. I have sprayed them with this copper mixture, which apparently helps with a whole lot of diseases. And last autumn I cut back a whole lot of comfrey, put it in a bucket, let it stew for all of winter. So I've fed all the trees a bit of that mixture, put down some compost. Hopefully they're good to go. I had previously bought some blue tussock for the entrance. I also bought some plants for the hedging along the back. What I have learnt through trial and error is to try to buy the plants locally so that they can handle the frost. I have lost a few plants because they haven't been used to the environment. So hopefully these ones do well. The blue tussock I bought in Tamaranui, and the back hedging is from Owakuni, which is even colder than here. And then we've got a whole lot of free flax plants. The joys of Hayden having a couple of contacts in the community. I think there's about 50, but I'm not sure. I've been slowly planting them out on the other side of the fence, and they'll eventually be a good privacy hedging. And then we'll also have some around the stream marshy area, I think, too. So I better keep at it.